Hello students, in this today's lecture we are going to start organic chemistry. Okay, in organic chemistry the topic will be the some basic concepts and techniques. Here the introduction of organic chemistry. What is the meaning of a organic chemistry? It is a branch of chemistry that deals with the study of the hydrocarbons and its derivatives. What is the meaning of a hydrocarbon? Those compounds which possess only carbon and hydrogen elements. The compounds which containing only carbon and hydrogen are known as what? Hydrocarbons. Now, the branch of chemistry that deals with the study of the hydrocarbons and their derivatives is referred as a organic chemistry. Now, according to the Berzelius vital force theory, the organic compounds are considered to be the source of a living organisms. That means according to Berzelius, he considered that the organic compounds are only isolated from the living system. Only isolated from whom? Living system. But this theory was rejected by the Frederick Euler in 1828 by preparing a organic compound known as a urea from a inorganic compound that is called ammonium cyanide. He was the first person who prepared the organic compound from the non-living organism, that is the inorganic salt, that is the ammonium cyanide. That means he disproved the vital force theory. He rejected the vital force theory because before Euler, Berzelius considered that only the organic compounds are isolated from the living system only with the help of a vital force. This is a vital force, and theory is called vital force theory. But once the Frederick Euler, who prepared a imported organic compound urea used in a agro fertilizer, that is in agriculture, from a inorganic compound known as a ammonium cyanide. Okay, then the first organic compound prepared in laboratory was acetic acid from its constituent elements by Kolbe in 1848. And after that, the second organic compound was prepared in the laboratory was methane by Bartlett. Okay. Now, what are the characteristic properties of the carbon? We know carbon is a tetravalency because carbon atomic number will be 6. So, the ground state electronic configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. In 2p2, so in px and py, 1 electron will be present because 2s2, 2p2, here 1s2 I am writing the inner gas configuration. Okay. Now, where in 2s orbital 2 electrons will be present, whereas in the 2p orbital there are 3 subcells, 3 suborbitals, 2px, 2py and 2pz, whereas in 2px and 2py 1 electron will be present, whereas the 2pz orbital will be empty. Yes or no? Now, in this what happens? Only 2 electrons are present at the carbon. So, but carbon is a tetravalent. That's why in the excited state what happens? One of the s electron will be promoted into the p subshell. So, the final in excited state the configuration will be 2s1 and 2p3. That means in one 2s orbital 1 unpaired electron, and in 3 p orbitals, that is the 2px, 2py, 2pz, 3 unpaired electrons are there. Total 4 unpaired electrons are there. So total 4 unpaired electrons are there. That's why this is a tetravalency. The carbon is what? Tetravalency. The valence of a carbon is what? 4. And the excitation energy corresponding for the electron to move from ground state to higher energy level approximately 502 kilojoule. 502 kilojoule per mole. Okay. Now, in organic compounds, the carbon atom may undergo 3 different types of hybridizations: sp, sp2 and sp3. What is the meaning of a hybridization? It is a process of intermixing. It is a process of intermixing of atomic orbitals. The process of intermixing of atomic orbitals is known as a hybridization. The detailed concept of hybridization we will see in the chemical bonding chapter. Okay. Now the second characteristic of carbon will be the catenation tendency. What is the definition of catenation? It is the tendency of an element to form a long chains of identical atoms. Here the long chains may be open chain or may be a cyclic chain. Okay. It is only because of high bond energy of the carbon-carbon. High bond energy of carbon-carbon. Due to high bond energy of carbon-carbon, so carbon is able to form long chains of identical atoms. That may be straight chain or a branch or a cyclic chain. And the next one more property, it has a tendency to form the multiple bonds between itself, otherwise with other atoms like nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur. We know carbon carbon can form double bond, triple bond, and carbon nitrogen triple bond, carbon oxygen and carbon sulfur will be double bond. Okay. And the one more important characteristic property of a carbon may be isomerism. What is the meaning of isomerism? Compounds having the same molecular formula but they have different properties are known as isomers, and this phenomena is known as isomerism. Okay. Now, how to represent the organic molecules? The structural representation of organic molecules. Number one, complete structural formula. In complete structural formula, we have to represent all carbon atoms and all hydrogen atoms. Apart from that, if any other heteroatoms will be present other than carbon and hydrogen, that will also we have to written. Okay. Let's suppose this is the molecule CH3 known as a ethane. Known as a what? Ethane. This is the molecule C2H4. This is a alkene because carbon carbon double bond is there. So this is called ethene. Okay. Now this is a methyl alcohol or methanol. Okay. Here oxygen will be having the two lone pair of electrons. Okay. So this is known as a complete structural formula. And second formula will be the condensed structural formula. Now in ethane, in the above case, we are detailedly writing the carbon hydrogen and between carbon hydrogen the covalent bond. Now what we are doing, we are compressing the structural formula like how many carbons will be there? 2 carbons. And how many hydrogens will be there? Total 6 hydrogens. So the compressed formula will be C2H6. In case of ethene, C2H4. Do you know the molecular formula of acetylene? Acetylene, that is C2H2 CH triple bond CH. Are you getting my point? So this will be the compressed formula. In case of ethene, we can write C2H4 also. In case of acetylene, we can write C2H2 also. So this is a alcohol, that is a methyl alcohol. Here the CH3OH. So we are writing the compressed formula. Are you getting my point? Now the next one will be bond line notation formula. This will be very very important. In this bond line formula, just we have to write the bond line without writing any carbon and hydrogen. Okay. Now here the bond line notation will be represented like a zigzag notation. In this zigzag notation, here the terminal, if you see this one as well as this one, this is corresponding to carbon, and each up otherwise each down, it is also corresponding to carbon atom. It is also corresponding to carbon atom. So here we should not write any carbon, any hydrogen, only we have to write the bonds. Now let's suppose here to write the bond line notation at least 2 carbon atoms. Let's suppose we are using the ethane. How many carbons will be there in ethane? 2 carbons. So just I am writing straight line. So this is the first carbon and this will be the second carbon. Suppose if I am writing the propane, that will be 3 carbon. So we have to write the propane bond line notation like this. Here what happens, this is the first carbon, this will be second carbon and this will be the third carbon. Okay. Suppose if I want to write the 4 carbons, in 4 carbons we have to write the bond line notation like this. Okay. Here this will be the first carbon and this will be the second carbon, this will be third carbon and this will be the fourth carbon. Okay. Suppose if I want to write this type of bond line notation, so first of all we have to write the 3 carbons because 1, 2, 3 carbons, 1, 2, 3 carbons, and the second carbon there is a one more carbon. That's why I am writing one more bond line. Are you getting my point? This type of representation is known as a bond line notation. Bond line notation. Yes or no? So we are giving here some examples. CH3, CH2, CH3. So this will be first carbon, second carbon, third carbon. Here there are 4 carbons are there. 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. Here also 4 carbons, but in between first and second carbon there is a multiple bond, that is called double bond. So here there is a double bond. Okay. Now here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons I am writing. On the second carbon there is a one more carbon is there. Okay. On the third carbon there is no any other carbon, and fourth carbon there is a one more carbon is there. So this is the representation of bond line notation. Okay. Let's suppose I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 carbons. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 up and down. Okay. Now out of 7 carbons, you see on the second carbon there is a 2 other carbons are there. This is C2H5, nothing but CH2, CH3. So here 2 carbons are there. So I am writing here 2 carbons. And third carbon there is no any substitution. On the fourth carbon there will be a bromine. Fifth carbon there will be no substitution, but on the sixth carbon there is a one more carbon is there. So I am writing one more carbon here. Are you getting my point? So this type of representation is a very important representation known as a bond line representation, bond line notation. Okay. Now the next one will be polygon formulae. In this formulae only the cyclic compounds can be represented without showing any carbon and hydrogen atom. For cyclic compounds, at least minimum 3 carbon must be present. 1, 2, 3. 3 carbon, that will be a cyclopropane. Here 4 carbons are there in the cycle. Cyclobutane, if it is pi carbons. Cyclopentane, if there are 6 carbons are there, that will be cyclohexane. Now the 3-dimensional representation, this is known as a wedge and dash formulae. In this 3-dimensional representation, actually if you see example methane, in methane there are total 4 covalent bonds attached to the carbon atom. But out of the 4 covalent bonds, now carbon atom along with the 2 hydrogen atoms, the carbon atom will be present in the same plane. And the remaining 2 bonds which are not present in the same plane. So one covalent bond along with hydrogen atom, that will be present above the plane of the paper, and one covalent bond will be present below the plane of the paper. Okay. So this type of representation is a 3-dimensional model of the molecule. For the view of to understand this molecule, 2 covalent bonds along with carbon atom should be present on the same plane, and the remaining 2 covalent bonds will be above and below the plane. And the dotted bond which is represented here, this is called dashed wedge. This bond will be always away from the observer, that means it is below the plane of the paper. And the solid wedge bond, that is the thick bond, will be there, which is always towards the observer or viewer. Okay. Now here, how to classify the organic compounds? The classification of organic compounds here, if you see, there are basically 2 types of organic compounds: acyclic organic compounds as well as the cyclic organic compounds. Acyclic nothing but the open chain, and cyclic nothing but the closed chain. Again in the acyclic hydrocarbons, saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Okay. Now saturated hydrocarbons, we know the best example alkanes. Alkanes are known as saturated hydrocarbon. The general formula of alkanes CnH2n plus 2, where n value corresponding to 1, 2, 3 so on. Whereas in unsaturated hydrocarbons we have alkenes as well as alkynes. We have 2 examples, alkenes as well as alkynes. Okay. The general formula of alkene will be CnH2n, whereas alkane will be CnH2n minus 2. In both alkenes and alkynes, the n value should be greater than 1. That means n value at least 2, 3, 4 and so on. Are you getting my point? Now on the right hand side, if you see, on the right hand side, cyclic or closed chain or ring compounds, there are 2 cases, homocyclic and heterocyclic. Homocyclic nothing but the carbocyclic, that means in this cycle only carbon atom will be present. Apart from the carbon atom, if some other atoms also present in the ring structure, such compounds are known as a heterocyclic compounds. So other than carbon, that may be nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, if they are present in the ring structure, such compounds are known as a heterocyclic compounds. Okay. Now in homocyclic compounds, again there are two classes: alicyclic compounds and aromatic compounds. Alicyclic compounds and aromatic compounds. Alicyclic in the sense aliphatic, along cyclic structure. Alicyclic nothing but aliphatic compounds with cyclic structure are called alicyclic. And number two, that will be the aromatic. That will be the aromatic compounds. Okay. Now in alicyclic, only carbon atom will be present in the ring structure. So we have cyclopropane, cyclobutane, cyclopentane. So these are the homocyclic or carbocyclic. Only in this cyclic structure, only carbon atoms will be present. Yes or no? So this is called homocyclic or carbocyclic. Okay. Now again in the homocyclic or carbocyclic, alicyclic, number two, aromatic compounds. Here, what is the meaning of a aromatic compound? This is a very important topic. So this topic we will discuss in other class. So the basic definition of aromatic compounds here I am giving. Aromatic compounds are called those compounds which possess cyclic structure and planar structure. Cyclic, planar, and the atoms which are present in the ring, they must be sp2 hybridization. The carbon atom should be sp2 hybridization, and the ring should possess 4n plus 2 number of pi electrons, where n value may be 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on etc. Okay. So this is a very very important condition regarding the aromatic compounds. Once again I am repeating, the compound must be cyclic and planar. Number two, the carbon hybridization, the atom should be involved in the ring must be sp2 hybridization, and the compound should always possess 4n plus 2 number of pi electron. If the n value will be 0, that means here there are only 2 pi electrons. If the n value will be 1, that may be 6 pi electrons here. If the n value will be 2, 10 pi electrons will be present. If the n value 3, that means here 14 pi electrons should be present. Okay. Now detailed discussion of aromatic hydrocarbons we will discuss in another topic. Okay. In another video we will discuss what are aromatic compounds and how they are classified etc. Okay. Now here aromatic compounds, again two types: benzenoid compounds and non-benzenoid compounds. What is the meaning of this one? The aromatic compounds which possess benzene resemblance structure. Benzenides corresponding to structure of benzene. Benzene resemble structure. Those aromatic compounds which possess benzene resemblance structure, they are called benzenides. Example, we know benzene, we know phenol, naphthalene, anthracene. These are the aromatic hydrocarbon which resembles the structure of the benzene. That's why the name is given as a benzenoids. And the aromatic compounds which do not possess the structure of the benzene, still they are aromatic. But they do not possess the benzene resemblance structure. Such compounds are called non-benzenoids. Example, here two compounds I given here. Okay. Now in this what happens? If you see here 2 pi electrons are there. Here 6 pi electrons are there. Remember here how many pi bonds are there? 2 pi bonds. Each pi bond carries 2 electrons. 2 plus 2, 4 pi electrons. And also here also one lone pair will be there. The lone pair will also take part in the resonance, due to which total we have to consider the 6 pi electrons. Are you getting my point? Here 4n plus 2 number of pi electrons. Here what I am writing, sometime lone pair of electrons also consider. In number of pi electrons, sometime lone pair of electrons also consider. This is very important. Okay. Now come to heterocyclic. In heterocyclic, other than carbon atom, some heteroatoms will be present in the ring structure. Here also aromatic and non-aromatic. Okay. Now the aromatic compounds of heterocyclic, here some list is given to you. So these examples are very very important. So the first example, pyrrole, and second example will be furan, third example will be thiophene, and fourth example will be pyridine or pyridine. Okay, pyrrole or pyrrole, furan, thiophene, and pyridine. You see, this is a total 5-member ring structure, but out of the 5 member, there are only 4 carbon atoms will be present, and the 6th atom will be the nitrogen atom. Here the oxygen atom will be heteroatom, sulfur will be heteroatom, here nitrogen will be heteroatom. Okay, heterocyclic but non-aromatic compounds. Here this is the example of oxirane, this will be the oxetane, pyrrolidine, piperidine. These are the example regarding the heterocyclic and non-aromatic compounds. Okay, now what is the meaning of a functional group? Functional group, it is a atom or a group of atom that will present in the given molecule and which largely determine the chemical properties of the molecule. It is an atom or a group of an atom of a molecule which determine the chemical properties of that species. Okay, largely the chemical properties are influenced by functional group only. Okay, the chemical properties of organic compound is only because of its functional group. Okay, let's suppose I have an hydrocarbon, let's suppose I have an alkane. Now what I am doing here, I am removing the hydrogen atom, I am replacing the one group. This group is known as a functional group. Let's suppose if the group will be OH group, the functional group alcohol, if it is NH2, amine, if it is CHO, this is called aldehyde, if it is COOH, that is called carboxylic acids. Okay, these are the main important functional groups. Apart from these 4 functional groups, there are other functional groups also there. Okay, the remaining portion of the organic molecule, this is the alkyl portion. This alkyl portion will be governing the physical properties like physical properties like melting point, boiling point, density, solubility. Are you getting my point? That means overall in a given organic molecule, the functional group portion will influence the chemical properties, will affect the chemical properties. Apart from the functional group, the remaining portion of the organic molecule will influence the physical properties. Like melting point, boiling point, solubility, density, refractive index, etc. Okay. Now the next topic will be what is the homologous series? A series of organic compounds having the same functional group, in the sense having the similar chemical properties, because if the functional group is same, the chemical properties will be also similar or same, and having a common general formula is known as a homologous series, and each member of the homologous series is known as a homologue. Now what are the characteristic properties of a homologous series? The first property will be in homologous series, every homologous series will be represented by what? A general formula. Okay, now all the members of each homologous series will have same functional group. That is the main definition of homologous series. The successive members of a homologous series can be differed by molecular formula CH2 and having a 14 units of difference in the molar mass, because carbon atomic mass 12 and each hydrogen has 1, so 12 plus 2, that will be the 14. And there will be a general method of preparation for this homologous series. Okay, and there will be a regular gradation in the physical properties, because as the molar mass changes, the physical properties changes, but the chemical properties will be similar. Why the chemical properties will be similar? Because all the homologous series member will possess the same functional group. Yes or no? So there are a lot of examples. Just I am taking 1 or 2 example here. The first example, alkane. The general formula CnH2n plus 2. Alcohol, the general formula will be CnH2n plus 1 OH. Okay. Now if you see any 2 successive members, the molecular formula difference will be CH2. Any 2 successive members of the homologous series, the molecular formula differ by CH2. Okay, and the molecular weight will be differ by 14 units. If you see, the molecular weight of methane will be 16, and the molecular weight of ethane will be how much? 30. Okay, and the next one propane will be 44. If you see the difference between 16 and 30, that will be the 14, and between 30 to 44 again there is a difference of 14. Here also another example for homologous series alcohol, CH3OH, CH3, CH2OH, CH3, CH2, CH2OH. That means in every successive member, if you see, there is a one CH2 group difference. One CH2 group difference. Okay. Now, the next one will be the type of carbon and hydrogen atoms in alkanes. Basically, there are four types of carbon atoms present in the alkane. They are known as a primary carbon, secondary carbon, tertiary carbon, and quaternary carbon. It is also called neocarbon. It is also called what? Neocarbon. What is the definition of a primary carbon? It is a carbon atom which is attached to only one other carbon atoms or no other carbon atoms. The carbon which is connected to only one carbon atom, otherwise no other carbon atom, it is referred as a primary carbon. And the hydrogen attached to the primary carbon is called primary hydrogen. Suppose here best example we have ethane, two carbons we have. Okay. Now this carbon connected to only one carbon, so this is a primary and this is also primary. Okay. Even if you see in propane, this carbon is connected to only one carbon and this carbon is connected to only one carbon. The carbon which is connected to only one carbon, otherwise no other carbon in the sense methane. If you see methane, only one carbon is there, that one carbon is called primary carbon. Are you getting my point? Now similarly secondary carbon, this is the carbon which is connected to two other carbon atoms. Let's suppose I am taking the propane. In propane, the second carbon will be connected to two other carbon atoms. This middle carbon, the secondary carbon is called secondary. The middle carbon, the second carbon is called secondary carbon. Okay. Now the tertiary carbon which is connected to three other carbon atoms. Okay. Now in this case, if you see, this is the molecule. In this molecule, so the middle carbon will be connected by how many other carbon atoms? Three other carbon atoms. Such carbon which is connected by three other carbon atoms is called 3-degree carbon or tertiary carbon. Secondary carbon will be 2-degree carbon and primary carbon will be called 1-degree carbon. And the carbon which is connected to four other carbon atoms, is called quaternary carbon or neocarbon. Let's suppose if you see this carbon, it is connected by first, second, third and four. So this carbon is connected by how many other carbons? Four carbon atoms. So that's why this is called quaternary carbon. This is called what? Quaternary carbon or 4-degree carbon. Okay. Now there are three types of hydrogens: primary hydrogen, secondary hydrogen and tertiary hydrogen. The hydrogen which is attached to the primary carbon is called primary hydrogen, and the secondary carbon is called secondary hydrogen, and the tertiary carbon is called tertiary hydrogen. And there will be no any quaternary hydrogen. Okay. Now here the molecular formula of a compound A will be C6H14. The structure of isomer of a compound A which possesses two tertiary and the remaining primary hydrogens. Only two tertiary hydrogens must be present and all others should be the primary hydrogens. Now here you see, here secondary hydrogens will be present and primary hydrogen will be present in the first option. In the second option, primary hydrogen will be present, secondary hydrogen will be present, and tertiary hydrogen is also present in the second option. In the third option, only primary hydrogens and secondary hydrogens. But whereas in the fourth option, if you see, this will be the two tertiary carbons. So tertiary hydrogen will be present and the remaining four carbons will be primary carbons. So here only tertiary hydrogens and primary hydrogens will be present here. How many tertiary hydrogens will be present? Tertiary hydrogens will be present 2. How many tertiary hydrogens will be present? How many? 2. And primary hydrogens will be present here 12. present here is 12. So these are the primary hydrogens. So primary carbons will be 4. 4 into 3, that will be the 12 hydrogens are known as a primary hydrogens. Okay. So that is the fourth option. Option number 4. Okay. Now next question. Which of the following is example for secondary alcohol? Secondary alcohol is that alcohol in which the functional group will be the OH. This should be connected to the secondary carbon. That means the carbon which is connected to two other carbon atoms is known as a secondary carbon. Is known as a which carbon? Secondary carbon. If the functional group alcohol is directly connected to the secondary carbon, such alcohol is known as a secondary alcohol. You see, this carbon will be the secondary carbon because it is connected to two other carbon atoms to which the functional group OH is attached. And this will be the primary alcohol because the OH group attached to primary carbon, and this will be the tertiary carbon. That's why this alcohol is called tertiary alcohol. Only one carbon is there. This is a primary carbon to which OH is attached is called primary alcohol. So here first option will be the secondary alcohol, second option will be the primary alcohol, third option will be the tertiary alcohol, and fourth option will be primary alcohol. Our question will be 2 degree or secondary alcohol, so that will be the first option. Okay. Now how many primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary carbons are present in the following molecule? Now this is the primary carbon. Every terminal carbon is referred as a primary carbon. Okay. Every terminal carbon will be considered as a primary carbon. So how many primary carbons will be present here? 1. How many primary carbons will be present? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 primary carbons will be present. Okay. So how many primary hydrogens will be present? 6 into 3, that will be 18. So primary carbons will be 6 and primary hydrogens will be 18. What about the secondary carbon? The secondary carbon is that carbon to which two other carbon atoms will be present. Here this is the 2 degree carbon because it is connected to two other carbons. It is also secondary carbon. No, it is not secondary. This is tertiary. And the next one more, this is the secondary carbon to which only two other carbons are attached. So how many secondary carbons are present here? 2. So secondary carbon containing 2 hydrogens. So that hydrogens are called secondary hydrogens. So secondary hydrogens will be 2 into 2, that will be 4. Okay. Now what about the tertiary carbon? Here the tertiary carbon will be the carbon which is connected to 3 other carbon atoms. This is the tertiary carbon. Okay. And this is also tertiary carbon. Tertiary carbons will be 2 and each tertiary carbon has 1 hydrogen. So 2 into 1, 2 hydrogens. And how many quaternary carbons? Only 1 quaternary carbon will be present. Only 1 quaternary carbon will be present. So quaternary carbons will be only 1 and quaternary hydrogen will be absent. Okay. Write the structure of C6H12 hydrocarbon has only secondary carbons. Only what? Secondary carbons. Now here how many carbons are there here? 6 carbons. 6 carbons, and also that 6 carbons must be what? Secondary carbons only. That means the carbon should attach with 2 other carbons only. That means we can expect the structure cyclohexane, because in this cyclohexane structure, if you see, each carbon will be joined by 2 other carbon atoms. So the degree of carbon will be secondary. So this is the structural formula of C6H12, which containing only and only secondary carbons. Only and only secondary carbons. Okay. Now there are some other questions. Which are the following is a tertiary alkyl halide? So you see, this is the carbon, tertiary carbon, because it is connected with 3 other carbon atoms. So this will be the tertiary carbon. So this alkyl halide is called tertiary. This will be the secondary carbon. So the first option will be secondary alkyl halide. Second option will be tertiary. Third option, if you see, this is the primary. And the fourth option is also, this will be the primary. So answer will be the tertiary alkyl halide. That will be the B option. And which of the following is a primary alcohol? That means the alcohol must be attached to only 1 carbon atom. only one carbon atom. Yes or no? The remaining must be hydrogen, otherwise carbon. Okay. Now here this carbon, if you see, this will be the secondary carbon, secondary alcohol. This is nothing but secondary carbon. This is the primary carbon. So our answer will be only primary alcohol. So that will be the option number C. Option number what? C. Yes or no?